Yes, hello friends. Good evening. Am I audible? Please somebody ping me. Yes, guys, am I audible? Yes, good evening, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Let's crack UPSC CSE English. Now, before I start the session, let me introduce myself for the people who are new on the platform or who are attending my session for the first time. My name is Alok Ojha. I've done my engineering from Pune. I have been associated with the field of UPSC since past 7 years. I hold the experience of giving serious SSB twice. I also hold the experience of exams like CAPF Assistant Commandant and Uttar Pradesh PSC. I am involved in the field of teaching since past 5 years and I have mentored more than 10,000 aspirants for UPSC. Now, there might be a question in the mind of an aspirant why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. So here are the ample of reasons why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. First of all, you'll have daily live classes on the Unacademy platform. Unacademy offers you assimilation of top and dynamic educators of India on a single platform. You can directly interact with the educators. You can clear all sorts of doubts with the educators. Second most important aspect, Unacademy helps to build up your competence by going through live tests and quizzes. And all the courses on Unacademy platform are highly structured in nature and there is a proper timetable through which the courses have been completed. Then all the courses on an Unacademy platform are highly simplified and one can have unlimited access to the courses on Unacademy platform. Another important aspect, the syllabus is covered in a very comprehensive manner with equal focus on all the subjects of GS. That is history, geography, polity, economics, science and tech, current affairs, budget, economic survey. Apart from that, there is proper focus on the answer writing techniques as well as improving the answer writing skills. Okay. So these are the few top and dynamic educators of India from whom you're going to learn through. Now, there is also something called as iconic subscription. Now, what is majorly iconic subscription all about? During the initial days, the preparation is completely haphazard. And an aspirant is majorly confused about what should I read, where should I prefer to read the current affairs, or how much time should I dedicate to read the current affairs. So guys, please do not worry. Unacademy has come up with iconic subscription. There would be a mentor who would be guiding you throughout your journey for civil services preparation. So if you choose me as your mentor, please use my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. Now Unacademy has also come up with Unacademy Combat. 60 minutes, 60 questions, there would be relative scoring and it would be held on 28th of Feb, that is at 11 AM. So you can enroll for the combat by using my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. These have been the special classes conducted by me previously. So please do subscribe to Unacademy by using my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. Yes guys. Today we are going to start with one of the most dynamic topics of modern India, that is important Governor Generals. Now what is Governor General? Let us understand this. At that time there were three major presidencies: Bombay, Bengal and Madras presidency. And there was a governor for respective presidency. Like for example, there was a separate governor of Bombay, there was a separate governor of Bengal and there was a separate governor of Madras presidency. So governor of Bombay was designated as governor of Bombay. Governor of Madras was designated as governor of Madras. And governor of Bengal was designated as Governor General of Bengal. And governor of Bombay and Madras were subordinated to Governor General of Bengal. In very simple words, whatever rules and regulations were being framed by Governor General of Bengal needs to be followed by respective governors of Bombay and Madras. So, Governor of Bengal was designated as Governor General of Bengal. And the first Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. With the passage of time in the coming years, Governor General of Bengal came to be designated as Governor General of India. And the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Again, with the passage of time, the Governor General of India came to be designated as Viceroy of India. So the last Governor General of India and the first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning. Okay, so now let's talk about the first Governor General of Bengal, that is Lord Warren Hastings. And in the end, I'll be telling you what sort of questions can crop up in the exam. So please listen to me coolly, please listen to me patiently, so that you can easily tackle the questions that will come up in the exam. Yes, very good evening, Abhijit. Yes, guys. First one is Warren Hastings. Now listen to me very carefully. He joined initially the company as a clerk, and it took 23 years for him to reach to the position of Governor General. Now, as soon as he joined, he immediately ended one system, that is dual system, which was initiated by Robert Clive. Now, what is dual system? I'll give you a very small example. Suppose English East India Company has conquered any kingdom. Now, the economic functions or the commercial functions would be subsumed by the company, and the entire administrative responsibility would be given to the ruler of that kingdom. Now, what happened if suppose administration is in one hand, economy is in the other hand? So in that case, there would be a flaw in the administrative aspect. And to fill up that flaw, he ended the dual system. So initially the system was dual system, administration in one hand, financial or economic affairs in the other hand. So there was a complete mismatch in the administration. And to end this mismatch, Warren Hastings completely ended the dual system which was initiated by Robert Clive. Now, English East India Company initially came into India for the purpose of trading. But with the passage of time, it started dictating terms and conditions to the Indian rulers. Now, Warren Hastings, like it is said that the rulers which were initially called as the emperors of a particular place, now these rulers were living merely on a pension. And as soon as Warren Hastings assumed the charge of Governor General of Bengal, he cut down the Nawab's pension. Secondly, the payment of tributes. Certain tributes were given to Delhi Emperor. These tributes were completely stopped. He shifted the treasury from Murshidabad, which is located in West Bengal, to Calcutta, which is again located in West Bengal. Now, it is said that civil code and criminal code both were established. Civil code was referred as Sadar Diwani Adalat, and criminal code was referred as Sadar Nizamat Adalat. Now, civil code was placed under a district collector who was an Englishman, and criminal code was placed under a judge probably who would be an Indian. So civil code and criminal code were being established during the tenure of Lord Warren Hastings. Now, he completely abolished the system of free passes or dastak. Now, what is the system of free passes or dastak? Let us understand this. Okay. Now, I'll give you an example. Suppose there is one company which is trading in a particular item. And if suppose there are 4 to 5 companies that have come up and they are trading in the same product. Now, where will the profit margin be high? Obviously, when there is a monopoly, when there is one company which is trading in that product. Isn't that so? So here, as per Dastak, anyone can come and trade in India. Okay. Now, to increase the company's profit, Lord Warren Hastings completely ended the system of dastak or free passes. And there was a uniform trade of 2.5% on Indian and non-Indian goods. For example, if I am a trader and I am sending my goods to some foreign country, I have to pay 2.5% as a tax to the government. If any goods are coming into India, that good also would be taxed 2.5%. So there was a uniform trade tax on import as well as export. A bank was started by Warren Hastings in Calcutta. His tenure witnessed Regulating Act 1773. Now, what is Regulating Act 1773 all about? Please listen to me very carefully. Now, English East India Company, it is believed that it is also referred as John Company. Now, there were 125 shareholders in the company. Now, 125 shareholders altogether cannot make rules and regulation for the company. So, these 125 shareholders chose 24 among themselves as court of directors. And these court of directors are going to frame rules and regulation for the company. This was majorly a part of Regulating Act 1773. Okay, so Regulating Act 1773, the basic purpose was to regulate, to control the affairs of English East India Company in India. And Regulating Act 1773 was passed during the tenure of Lord Warren Hastings. He established Asiatic Society of Bengal, or he established Asiatic Society at Calcutta. Now he followed one policy which is also referred as ring fence policy or security cell policy. Now, what is ring fence or security cell policy all about? Let us understand this. Suppose English East India Company is holding one particular area and they have their enemies at a distant location, but the surrounding, like the neighboring kingdoms, are neither friends nor the enemies, but still English East India Company will maintain diplomatic relations with them. And what is the purpose for maintaining diplomatic relations? So that if a distant enemy tries to attack them, he won't think of attacking them, because he will have a deterrence in the mind that these people are not alone, they have supporters along with them. Such a policy is referred as ring fence policy or security cell policy. Okay, and this was majorly used against the Maratha rulers and the rulers of Mysore. Now, his tenure witnessed Rohilla War, First Anglo-Maratha War, okay, Second Anglo-Mysore War, Pitt's India Act 1784. Now, why it is called as Pitt's India Act 1784? Because at that time the Prime Minister of England was Mr. Pitts. That is why it is referred as Pitt's India Act 1784. Now, Rohilla War was witnessed during the tenure of what we say Lord Warren Hastings. Now, what is majorly Rohilla War all about? Please listen to me carefully and patiently. Rohillas were Afghans or Pathans who were living on the northwest frontiers of India. Now, Rohillas were inducted into the Mughal army because of their personality, and they were made as commander-in-chief of the Mughal army. Now, Mughals were continuously in strife against Marathas and the English both. Now, what happened basically? These Rohillas were always fighting with Marathas. Why? Because they were representing the Mughals. They were commander-in-chief of the Mughals. But with the passage of time, Mughal power started declining. And when the Mughal power started declining, Rohillas declared themselves as independent, because they knew that if Mughals are going to decline, automatically Rohillas will decline. So Rohillas declared themselves as independent and got settled at a particular place in Uttar Pradesh, which is referred as Rohilkhand. Now, they knew that when they were a part of Mughal army, they were continuously raiding the Maratha territories. And now Marathas have vengeance against the Rohilla. And Rohillas alone cannot fight Marathas. So what happened here? There was these Rohillas approached Nawab of Awadh, whose name was Shuja Ud-Daula, and asked him for the help against Marathas. Okay, but the Shuja Ud-Daula said that I am going to help you again against Marathas, but I want 40 lakh rupees. This was accepted by Rohillas. Now, it is said that a fierce battle was fought and Marathas lost the battle. Now, when Shuja Ud-Daula asked for money, Rohillas said that I do not have money. So what happened here? Now Shuja Uddaulah approached Lord Warren Hastings. Now Shuja Uddaulah said Lord Warren Hastings that please defeat these Rohillas, and in that case I do not want any rupees. I do not want any money because these Rohillas have betrayed us. Now this was seen as an opportunity by Lord Warren Hastings. First opportunity to earn rupees 40 lakh, and second opportunity, if Nawab of Awadh is asking for help, it simply means that he himself is not capable of fighting against Rohillas. Okay, so first Anglo-Rohilla war was fought, in which the Rohillas lost the battle, and it was witnessed during the tenure of Lord Warren Hastings, and Lord Warren Hastings was impeached for this. Lord Warren Hastings introduced the English translation of Bhagavad Gita, which was written by Charles Wilkin. So these are the important points that you guys need to remember from the exam perspective. So what all sorts of questions can come up in the exam? Rohilla war was witnessed during the tenure of which ruler? It was witnessed during the Warren Hastings. Who introduced the English translation of Bhagavad Gita? It was Warren Hastings. Who established Asiatic Society at Calcutta? It was Warren Hastings. Who ended the dual system which was initiated by Robert Clive? It was Lord Warren Hastings. So my friends, hope so you understood Lord Warren Hastings. Yes, Monisha, good evening. Anul, good evening. Yes, Pathan, good evening. Soha, hello. Yes, guys, did you understand? Yes, guys, did you understand the concept? Please let me know. Please keep the session active and interactive. Okay, thank you. Now let's talk about Lord Cornwallis. He was the second Governor General of Bengal, and it is said that he held the prestigious position of Governor General twice. Okay, and he is the only Governor General to die in India during his second term. And his tomb is located in India at a place called as Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. I repeat, Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. Now, before he assumed the Governor Generalship of Bengal for a short tenure, John Macpherson was Governor General of Bengal, but his tenure is not that important. Okay. Now, if power is concentrated in one hand, there would be misuse of power. There is one statement given by Lord Acton, and what is that statement? Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. If power is concentrated, for example, district collector initially had two functions. First was collection of revenue, and second was dispensing justice in civil cases. So now Lord Cornwallis came up with the theory of Montesquieu, and that theory is separation of power. District collector was deprived of his judicial function, so that there cannot be any misuse of power. And in framing this code, he was helped by his friend Sir George Barlow. I repeat, Sir George Barlow. Now, he started a proper system of thanas and darogas, so that if the local people had any sort of complaint against any authority, they can launch a complaint at the thanas, and thanas would be headed by darogas. Okay, as I have told you previously, English East India Company was a joint stock company. There were 125 shareholders in the company. So there was a lot of system of recommendations. I'll give you a very small example. Suppose if I am a shareholder in English East India Company, now I will recommend to the company's officials that my son should be appointed as an SP or a district collector of a particular area. So this is wrong. Now Lord Cornwallis came up with a system that a proper examination needs to be conducted to enter into the company's service. And now it is believed that no recommendations would be entertained for company service. If a person is involved in company service, he completely needs to be dedicated to the English East India Company. He cannot run a parallel business or a parallel service. He need to show his income or he need to show his physical assets before joining the company's service. So he came up with a system of a proper recruitment exam for entering into the company service, which is also referred as, initially it was called as Imperial Civil Service, later on it was called as Indian Civil Service. Okay, lowest court of appeal was Munsif Adalat or Amin Adalat. High Court was referred as Sadar Diwani Adalat, and Supreme Court was established at Fort William in Calcutta, and it was highest court of appeal. Okay, now if ordinary men felt that they have been what we say subjugated by the government, or the policies are not running in the proper manner, or if any government servant is involved in any sort of corrupt practices, an ordinary man can sue, he can launch an FIR against the government servant as well. This was done by Lord Cornwallis. Lord Cornwallis also took action against slavery, and one of the most important aspects, Lord Cornwallis is also referred as father of permanent settlement or zamindari system. Now what is zamindari system all about? Now there are three types of land revenue system: zamindari, rayatwari and mahalwari system. Under zamindari system, now it is said that zamindar acted as a middleman between company on one hand and the peasant on the other hand. Like, company is not going to collect the revenue directly from the peasant. Zamindar is going to collect the revenue from the peasant and give it to the company. Okay, 89% of the revenue went to the English East India Company, and 11% was kept by Zamindar himself. I'll give you a very small example. Suppose if I'm a peasant, I earn rupees 100 and I have to pay 70 rupees as a tax. Out of 70 rupees, 89%, that is approximately around 63 rupees will go to the company, and 11%, that is 7 rupee, will be kept by Zamindar. Now Zamindari system is also called as permanent settlement. Now why it is referred as permanent settlement? Because the revenue would be fixed for the next 10 years. Like for example, as I've told you, if I'm a peasant and I earn rupees 100, I have to pay 70 rupees as a tax. Next year I earn rupees 500, but still I have to pay 70 rupees as a tax. Next to next year I earn only rupees 50, but still I have to pay 70 rupees as a tax. That is why Zamindari system is also referred as permanent settlement. I repeat, permanent settlement. Okay. Now, as I've told you, like, he is the only Governor General to die in India, and his tomb is located at a place called as Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. He is also referred as blue-blooded aristocrat. What is the meaning of a blue-blooded aristocrat? It is an idiom. It simply means that a person who comes from a royal family, a person who has a noble origin, that is referred as blue-blooded aristocrat. So this is majorly about Lord Cornwallis. Are the points clear, my friends? Please let me know. Yes, Ram Kumar, good evening. Are the points clear? Now let's talk about another Governor General of Bengal whose name was Sir John Shore. Okay, now his reign was full of uneventful activities, and he always followed a policy of non-intervention or neutrality. Neither he interfered in the policies of the local kingdoms, nor did he allow the local kingdoms to drive the policies of English East India Company. So he followed a simple policy of non-intervention or neutrality. Or if suppose two kingdoms are having fight, then still again Sir John Shore always followed a policy of neutrality. He never interfered in the administrative policies of any kingdom. He was heavily criticized for his policy of laissez-faire. I repeat, he was heavily criticized for his policy of laissez-faire. And what is laissez-faire policy all about? Let us understand this. No government interference in any economic activity. No interference in import and export. This completely affected the trade monopoly of English East India Company. How? If there is no government interference in any trading activities, what will happen? There would be other competitors who would be coming into the market and trade in India. And this will reduce the profit margin or the monopoly control over the market which was held by English East India Company. So this is called as laissez-faire policy. And that is why Sir John Shore was heavily criticized for his laissez-faire policy. His tenure witnessed Charter Act 1793, Battle of Kharda. It was fought between Nizam of Hyderabad and Marathas. Okay, and in this Nizams were defeated. So Battle of Kharda was witnessed during the tenure of Sir John Shore. Are the points clear completely about Sir John Shore? Please let me know. Monisha, I've talked about Cornwallis Code. If you didn't listen properly, I've talked about Cornwallis Code, that he framed a code of law with the help of his friend Sir George Barlow. Separation of power. If you don't remember that, Montesquieu, I've discussed just about that. Okay? Did you understand the point still here, guys? Okay, now let's talk about Lord Wellesley. The rule of Lord Wellesley is really very important from the exam perspective. Please listen to me very carefully and patiently. Now, 4th Anglo-Mysore War and Tipu Sultan was killed during the tenure of Lord Wellesley. 2nd Anglo-Maratha War was witnessed during his tenure. Now, Maratha family was disintegrated into 5 parts. Peshwas were ruling in Pune. Bhosles were ruling at Nagpur, Scindias in Gwalior, Gaikwad in the region of Baroda. Okay, then Scindias in Gwalior, Bhosles at Nagpur, Peshwas at Pune, then Gaikwad at Baroda. Now what happened further? Listen to me. Now in the Holkars were ruling in the region of Indore. Now Peshwas, Scindias and Gaikwads decided to attack them. Okay, Peshwas, Scindias and Bhosles, not the Gaikwad, decided to attack Britishers at various places. And it was witnessed during the tenure of Lord Wellesley. And at this time, the Peshwas, Bhosles and Scindias, all of the 3 were defeated. Now, in the Pune, after the defeat, a treaty was signed, which is referred as Treaty of Bassein. Now, Treaty of Bassein was signed between Lord Wellesley, who was representing the English East India Company, and Bajirao II, that is Peshwa. As per this treaty, it is believed that Britishers would have a permanent force of 6,000 in Pune, so that they can closely have a watch over the activities of Peshwas. Peshwas cannot enter into treaty with any other kingdom or with any other foreign power. Then they had the complete authority to solve their internal disputes, but they cannot enter into any sort of treaty, any sorts of perpetual friendship with any foreign power or with any other kingdom without the permission of Britishers. A person would be stationed permanently in the court of Peshwas. and Peshwas had to surrender those districts which are going to yield an annual revenue of 26 lakh rupees. And these 26 lakh rupees will be going to the English East India Company's treasury. In very simple language, this Treaty of Bassein is nothing but surrendering of one's independence or surrendering of one's sovereignty. Maratha sovereignty was completely hijacked by the policies of the Britishers by Treaty of Bassein. Then comes Treaty of Treaty of Devgaon. Now the Treaty of Devgaon was signed between Wellesley and Bhosle. Now as per this treaty, Bhosle's had to surrender the region of Cuttack in Odisha. Now Cuttack in Odisha, and Odisha is a coastal state, Britishers could establish a new factory in the region of Cuttack. So that is why they took Cuttack from the Bhosle as per Treaty of Devgaon. And finally comes Treaty of Surji Arjun Gaon, which was signed with what we say Scindias. Okay. Now Lord Wellesley initiated one system which is referred as Subsidiary Alliance System. I repeat, he initiated Subsidiary Alliance System. Now what is Subsidiary Alliance System all about? Pay attention properly. Okay. Now, as per this treaty, Britishers would be referred as paramount power, or English East India Company would be referred as paramount power, and Indian state would be referred as protected state. Then, a British resident would be placed in the court of a person or the ruler who has signed Subsidiary Alliance System. Who is going to pay for the salary of that British resident? The ruler is going to pay for the salary of that resident. The ruler cannot enter into any friendship treaty with any other foreign power or any other kingdom. Okay. He cannot employ any other European without the permission of Britishers. They can resolve their internal conflicts amicably. Okay. Now, paramount power is not going to interfere in their internal administration. Isn't this again like the Treaty of Bassein, where one has to completely surrender his independence? One completely needs to surrender his sovereignty. And the first ruler who signed the Subsidiary Alliance System was Nizam of Hyderabad. I repeat, Nizam of Hyderabad was the first to sign Subsidiary Alliance System. And there were hundreds of kingdoms who signed Subsidiary Alliance System, like Mysore, Tanjavur, Awadh, Peshwas, Bhosle, Jodhpur, Jaipur, Macheri, Bundi, Bharatpur, and many more. So Subsidiary Alliance System was initiated during the tenure of Lord Wellesley. Now, Press Censorship Act 1799 came up during the tenure of Lord Wellesley. Now, what is Press Censorship Act all about? Now, French were publishing something against the Britishers, and this hurted the trade monopoly of the Britishers. To stop the French from publishing anything derogatory against them, Lord Wellesley came up with Press Censorship Act 1799. And this act was finally relaxed by another Governor General whose name was Lord Hastings. My friends, please do not get confused. Lord Warren Hastings and Lord Hastings are two different entities. So, Press Censorship Act, which was brought in by Lord Wellesley, was completely removed by Lord Hastings. Okay. Now, Lord Hastings started Fort William College at Calcutta. Initially, the civil servants, this year in 2020, there was a question in the prelims exam. That is why I usually say, please listen to me patiently and carefully. Initially, the civil servants were recruited in London and they were trained at Hailbury College in London. Now, these civil servants had to work in India, but their effectiveness and administrative efficiency was not up to the mark. Why? Because these people are recruited in London. They hardly are aware about the grassroots realities of India, culture of India, traditions of India, administrative aspects of India. And now, these people are now trained at Fort William College in London. Okay. He is also referred as maker of Madras Presidency and creator of the province of Agra. So please remember all these things about Lord Wellesley. There was a question in the prelims exam. What was the purpose of creating Fort William College? So to train the newly recruited civil servants. Are the points clear, my friends? Please let me know. Yes, guys. Yes, Jenny, very good evening. Okay, now let's talk about the reign of Sir George Barlow. Did I speak of Sir George Barlow initially, guys? Yes, I have spoken about Sir George Barlow. If you have listened to me carefully, I have told you that Lord Cornwallis had come up with the theory of separation of power, which was initiated by Montesquieu. And it is believed that, pay attention properly, this theory of separation of power was created by whom? Montesquieu. And this theory was brought in by Lord Cornwallis. Who had helped Lord Cornwallis? Sir George Barlow, one of the good friends of Lord Cornwallis. Now listen to me. Now, during the tenure of Sir George Barlow, River Chambal, which is a right bank tributary of River Yamuna, it was decided as a boundary line between the Scindias and the Britishers. Okay, one of the most important aspects that we need to remember, Vellore Mutiny of 1806 and Bharatpur Mutiny of 1824, these are precursors to revolt of 1857, which is also referred as First War of Independence. So although Vellore Mutiny was not that big in comparison to revolt of 1857, but still it cannot be denied that Vellore Mutiny was a very major mutiny. Now, what is Vellore Mutiny all about? Let us understand this. Now, there were two military commanders. One was Lord Hodown and second was Sir John Cradock. I repeat, Lord Hodown and Sir John Cradock. Both of them passed very foolish orders. And what were these orders? Like usually Hindus and Muslims, both were the part of the army. Now Hindus had their own customs, Muslims had their own custom. Now they passed a very foolish orders. And what were these? Hindus cannot wear caste mark. They cannot apply tilak on the forehead. Muslims compulsorily need to shave their chin. Muslims cannot wear the holy cap or the turban. So this was felt by Hindus and the Muslims or the soldiers basically as interference in their religious practices. And they felt that they were being forcefully Christianized. And against this, Tipu's son, Fateh Haidar, raised a revolt against the Britishers. Now, he massacred many Europeans and the flag of Mysore Sultanate was hoisted. The mutiny was subdued by cavalry and artillery from Arcot, that is from Tamil Nadu, and a proper trial was being conducted. After a trial that was conducted, 6 were blown, 5 were shot, 8 were hanged, and 5 were given this life imprisonment sentence. So this event in the entire history of modern India is referred as Vellore Mutiny, which occurred during the tenure of Sir George Barlow. So there can be a probable question in the exam. Vellore Mutiny occurred during the tenure of which ruler? Which Governor General? So it occurred during the tenure of Sir George Barlow. Are the points clear, my friends? Any query, any question, any sort of doubt? Yes, please. Okay, now let's talk about Lord Minto I. Okay, now Charter Act 1813 was passed during the tenure of Lord Minto I. Please remember the important things about Charter Act 1813. As per Charter Act 1813, the English missionaries were allowed to come in India, or the Christian missionaries were allowed to come in India and preach Christianity, but they cannot force anyone to get converted into Christianity. Okay, this was one of the clause of Charter Act 1813. Now, as per Charter Act 1813, it was the responsibility of English East India Company to spend rupees 1 lakh annually for the purpose of education. And the third most important aspect that we need to remember here is that as per Charter Act 1813, monopoly of English East India Company was completely ended, except in two things, tea and China. Only English East India Company can trade with China, and only English East India Company can trade in tea. Otherwise, the monopoly of English East India Company was completely ended by Charter Act 1813. And Charter Act 1813 was passed during the tenure of Lord Minto I. Okay, now Treaty of Amritsar with Maharaja Ranjit Singh was signed during the tenure of Lord Minto I. Now, what is Treaty of Amritsar all about? Listen to me very carefully. Maharaja Ranjit Singh was a Sikh warrior, and he continuously followed the policy of expansion. He continuously followed the policy of imperialism. He conquered new and new kingdoms and continuously tried to expand his territories. Now, it is believed that his kingdom extended from Khyber Pass, which is located in Hindu Kush mountain on the border of India and Afghanistan. So his kingdom extended from Khyber Pass to China, and from Satluj to north of from Sindh to north of river Satluj. Initially, he had conquered the region of Lahore, which was held under the Afghan supremacy. So he completely overthrew Afghan supremacy. Then he conquered the region of Amritsar, and now he conquered the region to the north of river Satluj. Later on, he had an eye over the regions or the territories to the south of river Satluj. And the territories to the south of river Satluj belonged to English East India Company. Now, at this time, Lord Minto I was the Governor General of Bengal. And Lord Minto I sent Sir Charles Metcalfe so that he can negotiate with Maharaja Ranjit Singh and there can be a treaty signed between them. But Maharaja Ranjit Singh did not accept this. So there was a small battle which cannot be considered as a major war or a major battle. And as per this, there were local Sikh kingdom who supported English East India Company against Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And now Maharaja Ranjit Singh was defeated. And after this, there was a treaty signed, which is referred as Treaty of Amritsar or Treaty of Perpetual Friendship. As per this, the territories to the north of river Satluj would be of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and the territories to the south of river Satluj would be of English East India Company. English East India Company are not going to enter into the north of river Satluj, and Maharaja Ranjit Singh is not going to encroach upon the areas to the south of river Satluj. All the regions of Kashmir, Peshawar, Hazara, all the regions belong to Maharaja Ranjit Singh. This is nothing but Treaty of Amritsar, which was signed during the tenure of Lord Minto I. So this is majorly about the Governor General of Bengal, Lord Minto I. Are the points clear? Yes, guys. Are the points clear? Any query, any question, any sort of doubt, please ask me. Okay. Now let's speak about Lord Hastings. Lord Hastings is also referred as Lord Moida, and he served as a Governor General for 10 years. Now there was a treaty signed which is referred as Treaty of Sagali during the tenure of Lord Hastings. Now, what is Treaty of Sagali? Sagali is a small village in the region of Bihar. Pay attention properly. Now Gurkhas were ruling in the region of Nepal, and Gurkhas had highly underestimated the power of English East India Company. Now Gurkhas had conquered the higher regions of Uttarakhand, that is Kumaon Himalayas, and now they entered into the region of Tarai. By now, Britishers had conquered Awadh, Gorakhpur and many other regions from the local rulers. And now these Gurkhas were further trying to enter into the Gangetic Valley. At that time, Lord Hastings was the Governor General of Bengal, and he came to know about the entire incident. Immediately the forces were dispatched and the Gurkhas were contained. Gurkhas had to give back all the territories that were conquered by them. Certain parts of Nepal were also brought into the India. Okay, and this occurred during the tenure of Lord Hastings as per Treaty of Sagali. In fact, the Gurkhas also had to pay a war indemnity. It means whatever losses the Britishers had occurred due to this, who is going to pay for this? Gurkhas are going to pay for this. So this occurred, that is Anglo-Gurkha War or Treaty of Sagali. It took place during the tenure of Lord Hastings. Then Third Anglo-Maratha War took place during the tenure of Lord Hastings. Now what is Third Anglo-Maratha War all about? Let us understand this. Pindaris. What are Pindaris? Pindaris are nothing but band of plunderers, and they were continuously raiding the territories of the Britishers. They were continuously raiding the armories of the Britishers. They were continuously raiding the cash treasuries of the Britishers. They were just plunderers. Now it was believed that these Pindaris were being sponsored by Marathas and Mughals in plundering the British territories or in raiding the British territories. Now, English East India Company or the Britishers came to know about the Marathas supporting the Pindaris, and now they got very angry about this. Now, due to Pindaris, there was a battle which was fought, which is called as Third Anglo-Maratha War, and here it is said that Marathas were defeated, like Peshwas were defeated at Khadi near Pune. Bhosles were defeated, Holkars were defeated at Mahidpur near Indore, and Bhosles were defeated at Sitabaldi near Nagpur. So this entire incident in the history of modern India is referred as Third Anglo-Maratha War. Guys, just I've spoke about Lord Wellesley, and there I've spoken that Press Censorship Act 1799 was brought by Lord Wellesley. What was Press Censorship Act 1799 all about? Like if Britishers are publishing, French were publishing something which was hurting the Britishers' interest, and to stop the French from publishing anything derogatory against the Britishers, Lord Wellesley came up with that act. But this act was completely relaxed. This act was completely abolished by Lord Hastings. Okay. First local newspaper, first vernacular newspaper, Samachar Darpan, was started by Marshman and was started during the tenure of Lord Hastings. I repeat, first newspaper, that is vernacular newspaper in the local language, that is in the Bengali language, was started by Marshman during the tenure of Lord Hastings, and the paper was called as Samachar Darpan. Guys, while back I have discussed there were three types of land revenue settlement: Zamindari, Rayatwari and Mahalwari system. Zamindari system was initiated during the tenure of Lord Cornwallis. Now what is Zamindari system all about? Let us understand this. I have told previously, under Zamindari system, Zamindar acted as a middleman between company on one side and the peasants on the other side. Like English East India Company is not going to collect the revenue directly from the peasant. A zamindar was appointed. That zamindar will be collecting the revenue from the peasant and giving to the company. Now many a times it happens like, if suppose there is a failure in monsoon, what will happen? The peasants are unable to pay the revenue to the zamindar. If the peasants are unable to pay the revenue to the zamindar, how will the zamindar pay the revenue to the company? So this system did not work a lot. And then came up Rayatwari system. And there was one more flaw in Zamindari system. And what was that? Suppose I am a peasant. I have 1 acre of land and I pay 100 rupees as a tax to the government. And my land is not that productive or fertile. In my neighborhood, there is another peasant. Okay, he also needs to pay 100 rupees as a tax to the government. His land is quite productive and fertile. So isn't this a sort of injustice towards me? Now Britishers came up with one system, Rayatwari system. Now what is Rayatwari system all about? As per Rayatwari system, Zamindar as a middleman was completely abolished. English East India Company directly collected the revenue from the peasant. And the revenue was completely based upon the fertility of the soil. And the land was categorized into 3 parts, good, bad and average, or good, average and middling. Now what is that? On the fertile land, the tax was very high. On the average land, where the productivity is average, the taxes would be average. And on the barren land, the taxes would be very less. But still, the taxes were quite high. The land which was quite fertile, the taxes were approximately around 66%. Okay, so it is believed that this system of Rayatwari system of land revenue was initiated during the tenure of Lord Hastings. Okay, then Hindu College was established at Calcutta. Now Hindu College was established during the tenure of Lord Hastings. So these are the major things, guys, you need to remember about Lord Hastings. Are the points clear? Because there can be a probable question in the exam. Yes, please. Did you understand Lord Hastings? See, Gautam, you have asked me a question. Did all these settlements took at the same time? No. Permanent settlement occurred during the tenure, or it was initiated during the tenure of Lord Cornwallis. Few years later, Rayatwari system was introduced during the tenure of Lord Hastings. Am I clear, Gautam Krishna? Yes, please. Okay. Now let's talk about Lord Amherst. Okay. Now, his tenure witnessed First Anglo-Burma War. Now, what is First Anglo-Burma War all about? Let us understand this. Now, it is believed that, like the Nepal, like the Gurkhas who were ruling in the region of Nepal, Burma also underestimated the power of English East India Company. Initially, Burma had a vision to capture Siam, that is Thailand. But Thailand was a very good friend of China. Okay? So it could not conquer Thailand, because if they are going to raid Thailand, what will happen? China will intervene there. And China was also a very powerful nation at that time. So now Burma turned its attention towards India. They had completely underestimated the power of English East India Company in India. And now they captured the region of Manipur and certain parts of Assam. They had the vision to conquer the region of Bengal and Arkan-Yoma hills. Okay. Now, at that time, the Governor General of Bengal was Lord Amherst. And Lord Amherst came to know about this expansionist attitude of Burma. Immediately, forces were dispatched by land and sea route. I repeat, immediately the forces were dispatched by land and sea route, and Burma was contained. A treaty was signed which is referred as Treaty of Yandabu. Yandabu is again a small village in the region of Burma. And as per this treaty, whatever regions were being conquered by Burma were restored back to India. Okay? And secondly, it is said that Assam, Manipur, Arakan, Danthai, all these regions were conquered from Burma. In fact, certain areas of Burma, lower Burma, was also captured. Okay, so it is said that Burma also had to pay a war indemnity, means whatever losses were accrued to the English East India Company for fighting the battle, who has to repay for that losses? Burma has to repay for that losses. And Bharatpur mutiny occurred during the tenure of Lord Amherst. Now what is Bharatpur mutiny all about? Pay attention properly. As I have told you previously, that when Burma was attacking India, the forces were dispatched by land and sea route both. And there were many Brahmins in the British Indian Army. So for Brahmin, crossing the sea means losing the caste. And it was considered as a social taboo among them. Now the forces were dispatched by sea route. Now when the forces were dispatched, it is said that these there was a march that was ordered from Chittagong and they had to board ships to Rangoon to contain Burma. Okay, and traveling by sea for Hindus was considered as Kala Pani. And now these soldiers revolted under the leadership of Binda. And this revolt was further suppressed by Edward Peggott. I repeat, Edward Peggott. The leader of the revolt, Binda, was hanged to death after a proper trial being conducted. And the place where Binda was hanged, on the People Tree, present day a temple has been constructed there which is dedicated to Lord Hanuman. And the temple is named as Baba Binda Temple. This event in the history of modern India is referred as Bharatpur Mutiny, which occurred during the tenure of Lord Amherst. So this is majorly about what we say Bharatpur Mutiny. Are the points clear, guys? Please let me know. Yes, please. Okay. Now let's speak about Lord William Bentinck. Let us understand about the policies that were adopted by Lord William Bentinck. Let us understand this. Okay. As I have told you previously, pay attention properly. There were three presidencies: Bombay, Bengal, and Madras. And there were respective governors for each presidency. Governor of Bombay was referred as Governor of Bombay. Governor of Madras was referred as Governor of Madras. But Governor of Bengal was designated as Governor General of Bengal. Okay. And the first Governor General of Bengal was Lord Warren Hastings. With the passage of time, Governor General of Bengal came to be designated as Governor General of India. And the first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Okay, so first Governor General of Bengal was Lord Warren Hastings, and first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. Okay, now when Lord William Bentinck assumed the charge as a Governor General, he observed one thing, that already the treasury was running with a deficit of rupees 1 million, that is 10 lakh rupees. And it was a primary responsibility of Lord William Bentinck to fill up this, what we say, deficit. Now, immediately as soon as he came, he reduced the salaries of all the officers, of all the judges completely to half. Suppose if somebody is having a salary of rupees 1000, it was reduced to 500 for a time being till the deficit was cleared. Okay, and they reduced the double batta system. What is double batta system all about? Now, suppose if I'm a soldier who is recruited into the Bengal army, and if I am what we say, if Britishers are following pro-imperialistic approach and they are conquering new and new territories, and if I am involved in that imperialistic policy, Britishers are going to pay me extra allowances to fight a battle. That is called as double batta system. Now, during the tenure of Lord William Bentinck, double batta system was completely abolished. I repeat, double batta system was completely abolished. Okay. He imposed a duty, he imposed a taxes on opium which was cultivated in the region of Malwa, that is Western MP. Now moving further. At this time, there were many reforms that were taking place in India. And these reforms were a part of Renaissance or socio-religious reform movements because the society was plagued by various social evils. There were many social reformers that cropped up by this time, like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Devendranath Tagore, Keshav Chandra Sen, Dwarkanath Tagore, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Jyotiba Phule, and many more. So, these reformers believed that before getting rid of the Britishers, first of all, we need to free our society from rudimentary thoughts and traditions, because these rudimentary thoughts and traditions are holding our society backwards, like sati system, child marriage, female infanticide, parda system. These were the rudimentary thoughts, or these were the rudimentary practices that were prevalent in the society. And the pioneering leader who played a major role against the sati system was Rajaram Mohan Roy. Rajaram Mohan Roy is also called as father of Indian Renaissance, or a bridge between the past and future, or father of Bengal Renaissance. With the efforts of Rajaram Mohan Roy, William Bentinck banned sati in the entire region of Bengal on 4th December 1829. He also took steps against what? Against the system of female infanticide. Okay? Now, it is believed that at that time there was lot of thuggy and plundering activity that was taking place in the northern part of MP, that is in the region of Bundelkhand. Okay, so there were many thugs, there were many dacoits that were prevalent at that time. So William Bentinck, he started one department which is called as Thuggy and Dacoity Department, and the major purpose of establishing Thuggy and Dacoity Department was to contain the dacoits in this region, and he appointed a special officer. Okay, his name was Henry William Sleeman, to suppress the thugs in this region. And William Henry Sleeman, he played a very dynamic and exemplary role in suppressing the thugs in this region. So Thuggy and Dacoity Department was being initiated by whom? It was initiated by Lord William Bentinck. And William Henry Sleeman, he was made responsible to stop the plundering activities in this region. He was made responsible to suppress the thugs in this region, and he played a very dynamic role in that. It is said that a special village has been named even today after William Henry Sleeman, and that village is called as Sleemanabad. Okay, now it is said that a special jail was made for the thugs, and that jail was located at Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. Now, if any new territory was acquired, it was either added into Bombay Presidency or Bengal Presidency or Madras Presidency. So what happened basically, the presidencies became quite huge, and it became quite it became quite tedious to manage or administer these presidency. So if any new territory was acquired, okay, a special commissioner was appointed for that place, and this commissioner would be directly reporting to the Governor General of India. Okay, so entire Bengal presidency was divided into 20 divisions, and a commissioner was appointed for each division who would be directly reporting to whom? He would be directly reporting to the Governor General of India. Now, this is from the perspective of mains, not from the perspective of prelims. This person also experimented with all sorts of judicial reforms. Okay, like Lord William Bentinck experimented with various judicial reforms. Indus Navigation Treaty was signed during the tenure of Lord William Bentinck. Now, why Indus Navigation Treaty was signed? Please listen to me very, very carefully. As I have told you previously, River Satluj, it acted as a boundary line between whom? The kingdom of Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the kingdom of English East India Company. The territories to the north of River Satluj belonged to Maharaja Ranjit Singh, and the territories to the south of River Satluj belonged to whom? English East India Company. At that time, Russia was also following an expansionist policy. And to keep an eye over the activities of Russia, this person, Lord William Bentinck, entered into a treaty with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. That is Indus Navigation Treaty. As per this treaty, River Indus should be made navigable, so that basically English East India Company can have a close watch over the activities of Russia. Okay, William Bentinck also laid the foundation of medical college, which is called as Calcutta Medical College, and it is believed that Lord Cornwallis, if you remember guys, Lord Cornwallis introduced a proper examination for entering into the company's service. Okay, but now this person, Lord William Bentinck, he laid the foundation of Indianization of public services. As per Indianization of public service, Indians could also enter into civil services. Initially, Indians were not allowed in the company's service. Now, Indians could also enter into the company's service. This is majorly about Indus Navigation Treaty that came up during the tenure of Lord William Bentinck. One more thing, Lord Metcalfe is also referred as Liberator of Press in India. Why he is called as Liberator of Press in India? Because he believes that press is such a media which acts as a channel of communication between the government and governed. Okay, the government will come to know about the plight of the people through press, and people will come to know about the working pattern of the government or the policies of the government through press. So that is why press should be given complete freedom, because press, it acts as a channel of communication. Secondly, press is nothing but the voice of the people. It is the voice of the government. That is why complete freedom should be given to the press. Such was a belief of Lord Metcalfe. That is why he is also referred as Liberator of Press in India. Metcalfe Hall is erected in the memory of Lord Metcalfe, which is located at Calcutta. So this is majorly about Lord William Bentinck and Sir Charles Metcalfe. Did you understand the points, guys? Please let me know. Any query, any question, any sort of doubt, please ask me. Yes, guys, did you understand the concept? Okay, thank you. Let's speak about Lord Auckland. First Anglo-Afghan War. It occurred during the tenure of Lord Auckland. Now, what is First Anglo-Afghan War all about? Let us understand this. Okay. Now, Durrani Empire was established in Afghanistan by Ahmad Shah Abdali. Okay, I repeat, Durrani Empire was established by Ahmad Shah Abdali in Afghanistan. Now, Dost Muhammad, okay, it is believed that if an empire is established, there is another person who is also contender to the throne. So there was a contender to the throne of Ahmad Shah Abdali, and who was that contender? Dost Muhammad. Now Dost Muhammad replaced Ahmad Shah Abdali. Now Dost Muhammad, he wanted to capture the region of Kashmir and Peshawar. And Kashmir and Peshawar was under Maharaja Ranjit Singh. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh was a very good friend by now of English East India Company. Now initially, Dost Muhammad tried to capture the region of Kashmir and Peshawar, but his attempts were highly unsuccessful. He could not conquer the region of Kashmir and Peshawar from Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So what happened here? He approached this person, Lord Auckland, and said him that you help me against Maharaja Ranjit Singh to conquer the regions of Kashmir and Peshawar. Okay, now, and we are going to help you in all other activities. Now what happened? Lord Auckland knew that Russia was following an expansionist policy, and Russia was a very good friend of Dost Muhammad. Okay, so Lord Auckland gave one option, and Afghanistan was also cradle of gate game between Russia and English East India Company or British India. So what happened? Lord Auckland told this person, Dost Muhammad, I will break my ties, I will break my friendship with Maharaja Ranjit Singh, probably if you break your friendship with Russia. But Dost Muhammad denied breaking any friendship with Russia. Now this was seen as an opportunity by Lord Auckland, and this was one of the most disastrous blunder that was committed by Lord Auckland. Now he tried to find another puppet for Afghanistan, and he got one puppet in the form of Shuja Shah. Shuja Shah was aspiring the throne of Durrani Empire. Now there was a tri-party agreement between Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Lord Auckland, who was representing English East India Company, and Shuja Shah. As per this agreement, okay, what was the agreement all about? Now you are going to help me. Sorry, if anyone is in necessity, we all three are going to help each other, and we are not going to support each other's enemy. Now Dost Muhammad came to know about this tri-party alliance, and Dost Muhammad was enraged. He got angry, and without giving a second thought, he directly attacked the territories of English East India Company. And now Dost Muhammad was defeated, and he was imprisoned in the jail of Calcutta. When he was imprisoned in the jail of Calcutta, there was a civil revolt in the region of Afghanistan. It is said that Maharaja Ranjit Singh died. There were many British officers who also died, like Alexander Burnes, Charles Burns, General Elphiston. All of them died. And it is believed that Dost Muhammad had to be released from the jail. This entire event in the history of modern India is referred as First Anglo-Afghan War, which took place during the tenure of Lord Auckland. Lord Auckland is also considered as one of the most unsuccessful Governor Generals of India, because it is believed that it was a personal matter of Afghanistan and there was no need of interfering in their policies, because English East India Company lost efficient officers in this battle. So he is considered as one of the most unsuccessful Governor Generals of Bengal. Are the points clear about Lord Auckland? Please let me know. Yes, guys. Yes, please. Okay. Now let us discuss about Lord Ellenborough. Let's talk about Lord Ellenborough. Okay. He was a president of Board of Control for 4 times. Now what is Board of Control all about? Let us understand this. As per Regulating Act 1773, there was English East India Company. Now English East India Company, there were 125 shareholders. Now these 125 shareholders are not at all going to frame rules and regulation for the company. So these 125 shareholders are going to choose 24 among them as court of directors who are going to frame rules and regulation for the company. But who are these court of directors? These court of directors are from within the company itself. Isn't that so? So, as per Pitt's India Act 1784, Board of Control was established above Court of Directors. Okay, so that Board of Control can have a close watch over the activities of English East India Company. And Board of Control was established by whom? The British Crown directly. So they can have a very close watch over the activities of English East India Company. So this person, Lord Ellenborough, before becoming the Governor General of India, he served as a president of Board of Control for 4 times. Now the major purpose of Lord Ellenborough coming into India was to restore the peace in Asia. Whatever chaotic situation was created previously by Lord Auckland, to remove that chaotic situation and to restore the position of English East India Company back again. Okay, but as soon as he came in India, he was completely involved in war. Like, he had a very short tenure of 2.5 years, but his entire tenure was completely involved in battlefield. Now, annexation of Sindh occurred during the tenure of Lord Ellenborough. Now, what is annexation of Sindh all about? Let us understand this. Initially, during the tenure of Lord Minto, Britishers had a vision of conquering the region of Sindh, because Sindh was located at a very strategic position, and now to expand its trade, Britishers wanted to occupy the region of Sindh, but they had established a factory at Surat. Okay, and Surat is located in Gujarat, which is again a coastal state. So rather than wasting resources, they did not conquer the region of Sindh. Okay, but still they tried to maintain diplomatic relations with the Sindh. And Sindh were ruled by Amirs, and they are referred as Baluchi Amirs or Amirs of Baluchi. Now, what happened? Lord Minto entered into a treaty of eternal friendship with them, and every 20 years the treaty was renewed. Now, these Amirs, they refused the friendship of Americans who wanted to trade in this region. They refused to have ports established by French. Okay, why? Because they had an influence of English East India Company above them. But English East India Company was not at all worthy of the loyalty that was shown by the Amirs of Baluchi. Now what happened? One fine day during the tenure of Lord Ellenborough, there was a military commander of Bombay Presidency. His name was Sir Charles Napier. Now Sir Charles Napier suggested Lord Ellenborough that, till when are we going to enter into treaty of eternal friendship with the Baluchis? We will conquer the region of Sindh once and for all, and we will end the all problems. Baluchis, who had been loyal since so many years to the Britishers, came under the wrath of their attack. Now 3,000 British soldiers attacked 12,000 Baluchis, and it is said that in 1843, this entire region of Sindh was conquered by Sir Charles Napier. Now, this annexation of Sindh was highly unjustified. Why? Because this openly shows the world about the policy of ruthless conquer, about the policy of imperialism that was being adopted by the Britishers. As I've told you, Sindh did not enter into any treaty with any other foreign power just because of the friendship with the Britishers. But Britishers were highly unworthy of this friendship. And what reason did they cite for conquering the region of Sindh? They said that these Amirs had helped these Amirs had helped Dost Muhammad in the what we say first Anglo-Afghan war during the tenure of Lord Auckland. But this is not the truth. The actual truth is they are following a ruthless policy of expansion. They are following the policy of colonialism, and that is the ultimate truth. That is why the conquering of Region Sindh was highly unjustified. Okay? Are the points clear, guys? Please let me know. Yes, guys? Yes, please. Are the points clear? Okay, now let's talk about Lord Hardinge 1. Now, there is one, what we say, practice which is referred as Maria system. And Maria system was practiced by Kand tribe or Kond tribe of Chota Nagpur Plateau. That tribe is locally also known as Kui tribe. Kui basically means the people of hills. Okay. Now, what is basically Maria system all about? Let us understand this. What is this human sacrifice system all about? Let us understand this. Now, as per this system, it is nothing but a sort of human sacrifice system. And this system is against the human rights. So Lord Hardinge I, he completely cancelled or he completely abolished the Maria system which was practiced by Kand tribe or Kond tribe or Kui tribe. Okay. First Anglo-Sikh War and Treaty of Lahore occurred during the tenure of Lord Hardinge I. Now what is Anglo-Sikh War all about? Let us understand this. Guys, if you remember, I have told you initially Treaty of Amritsar. As per Treaty of Amritsar, River Satluj acted as a boundary line between the kingdom of Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the territories of English East India Company. Isn't that so? Now what happened basically? There was one person whose name was Major Broad, who was placed in the court of the Sikh kingdom. Now Major Broad was closely observing the activities of the Sikh empire, and he saw that the Sikh rulers were trying to build fortifications on the borders of River Satluj. Initially, they started building fortifications on the borders of north of River Satluj. But when the Sikh rulers started constructing fortifications to the south of River Satluj, this person, Major Broad, he became quite suspicious of the activities of the Sikh empire. And now finally, Sikh empire started raiding the territories to the south of River Satluj, which belonged to the English East India Company. And now there was a battle which was fought between English East India Company and the Sikh empire, in which the Sikh empire lost the battle. This is called as First Anglo-Sikh War, which ended with Treaty of Lahore. As per this treaty was signed between Lord Hardinge I and Maharaja Duleep Singh. Who was Maharaja Duleep Singh? Maharaja Duleep Singh was an infant son of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. When the treaty was signed, Maharaja Duleep Singh was just 7 years old. And the treaty was signed on 9th March 1846. As per this treaty, Kashmir, Peshawar, Hazara, all these territories were lost to the Britishers. Okay, all the claims to the south of River Satluj was again regained by whom? Britishers. Sikh kingdom had to pay a war indemnity of 1.5 crore rupees to the Britishers. Apart from that, the Sikh empire cannot keep more than 20,000 horses in their army, and that too with the permission of the Britishers. And in the further years, Britishers are going to interact only with the three people. That is Maharaja Duleep Singh as the king, Rani Jind Kaur as Raj Pratinidhi or regent, and Lal Singh as Wazir. So this harsh treaty is called as Treaty of Lahore, and a British resident would be kept at the court in Lahore, and the British resident was he was named as Major Henry Lawrence. So this is majorly about Lord Hardinge 1. Did you understand the point, guys? Please let me know. Yes, please. Okay. Now let's talk about Lord Dalhousie. Now, his real name is James Andre Ramsay, and he is youngest Governor General of India. When he became the Governor General, his age was just 36 years. I repeat, his age was just 36 years when he became the Governor General. He started non-regulation system, guarantee system, and doctrine of lapse. Please listen to me. What is all these system all about? Non-regulation system. What is non-regulation system all about? As I have told you, that entire Bengal was divided into various divisions. If any new territory was acquired apart from that, okay, a commissioner would be appointed for that territory, and this commissioner would be directly reporting to the Governor General of India. This system is nothing but non-regulation system, which was being initiated by Lord Dalhousie. Another important system is guarantee system, which was started by Lord Dalhousie. Now, what is guarantee system all about? Let us understand this. Now, railway companies were allowed to invest in India. Okay? And these railway companies were given an annual interest of 5% on yearly basis. Okay? These, railway companies were given an annual interest of 5%. Now, what happened further? Okay? Now, once the contract is over, English East India Company will pay the entire money and then buy the railways from these contractors. This system is nothing but guarantee system. Okay, I'll repeat the point. Now, the contractors, railway contractors or railway companies are allowed to invest in India, and they would be given an annual interest rate of 5% on the investment. Now, at the end of the contract, okay, after 20 years, 30 years, English East India Company is going to buy back the railways from whom? The contractors. This is nothing but guarantee system, which was initiated by Lord Dalhousie. Lord Dalhousie also started doctrine of lapse, and doctrine of lapse is nothing but, in very simple words, a policy of ruthless expansion, a brutal policy of imperialism that was practiced by Britishers. Like, as per doctrine of lapse, if any ruler or if any kingdom, if he is not having a legal male heir, his territories will be annexed by the Britishers. Okay. Adopted child would not be considered as legal male heir. Adopted child could only get the personal property of the ruler, and this system is called as doctrine of lapse. Hundreds of kingdoms were brought under various degrees of subjugation under the policy of doctrine of lapse, like Satara, Jaipur, Udaipur, Sambalpur, Bagad, Jhansi, Nagpur. All the kingdoms were captured under the pretext of doctrine of lapse, and this system was being initiated by Lord Dalhousie. Okay, Lord Dalhousie laid the foundation of modern postal system. First railway was started between Bombay to Thana in 1853. It covers approximately the distance of 53 kilometers. It had 3 locomotives, that is Sindh, Sultan and Sahib. So first railway line was initiated by, or the first train ran between the Bombay and Thana during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie. Then first telegraph line between Calcutta to Agra, that is 900 miles, was started during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie. Gurkha regiment came into force during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie. Shimla was made as the summer capital of India during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie. Okay, he created a separate public works department, and now it is believed that 3 universities came up at this time. Now, there was something called as Wood's Dispatch of 1854. Wood's Dispatch of 1854 is also referred as Magna Carta of English education in India. And on the recommendation of Wood's Dispatch, 3 universities were established in India: Bombay, Calcutta, and Madras universities. And these universities were established on the models of London University. Okay, so this university was established during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie. And now, Second Anglo-Sikh War occurred during the tenure of Lord Dalhousie, and the entire Sikh Empire was annexed. Annexation of Lower Burma, as I've told you, Upper Burma was initially conquered, and Ganges Canal was declared open. Are the points clear, my friends? Please let me know. Yes, guys, are the points clear about Lord Dalhousie? Hope so you understood the important Governor Generals of India. Yes, guys, tomorrow we are going to start with important Charter Act. Okay? All the Governor Generals are very, very important from the prelims perspective. So please study properly. Yes, guys, hope so the session was active. Hope so the session was quite interesting and informative, and you got to learn something new. Okay, guys? So I'll stop here for the day. See you guys tomorrow with a new topic, and please do subscribe to Unacademy. And if anyone who is aspiring to go for a plus subscription, please use my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye bye.